Hello everyone, welcome to Miss Lee's class. Today we're going to learn how to factor a trinomial. Okay, so I want you to look at the warm-up question. Before we start factoring, we're going to practice expansion, right? Okay, so we use FOIL method. So we have two binomial multiplying to each other. So x squared plus 4x, 2x, plus 8. You combine the like terms, then that becomes x squared plus 6x plus 8. Next, so we do FOIL, x squared, 7x, 1x, 7. And combine the like terms, x squared negative 6x plus 8x minus 48. Combine the like terms, then x squared plus 2x minus 48. Alright, so we expand factored form to expanded form. Okay, so we know how to expand, and today we're going to learn how to factor trinomial to a factored form. All right. Okay, so let's compare the product of binomial. So this is a product of binomial and the expansion. Any connection you notice? So I want you to look at 6, positive 6, and positive 8, and this positive 2 and positive 4. So do you see any connection between 2, 4, and 6? What's the connection? Anybody notice anything here? When you add positive 2 plus positive 4, it becomes 6. What about this? What about 2 and 4 and 8? Any connection you notice? When you multiply positive 2 and positive 4, it becomes 8. Is that right, everyone? Let's see if this works for the next question. Positive 1 and positive 7 and positive 8. Do you see the same connection? 1 plus 7 equals 8. And also, 1 times 7 becomes 7. Right? So 1 times 7 becomes 7. So same connection. Let's test with the next question. 8 plus negative 6. 8 plus positive 8 plus negative 6. What is that? That's 2. And we have 2 here. And 8 times negative 6. What is it? It's negative 48. Right? So same connection. So therefore, each product of a binomial has the same connection. So you get this number by adding those two. You got this number by multiplying those two. Make sense, everyone? So we're gonna make it more general. Here, when you expand, becomes x squared plus kx plus hx plus h times k. And let's combine the like terms, k plus h. H times k. Okay. As you see, h and k, when you add them up, that's the coefficient of x. And when you multiply, that's the constant of the trinomial. Alright, everyone? Therefore, when you want to make the expanded form to a factored form, you have to think about k and h. So when factoring a trinomial of form of x squared plus bx plus c, we need to find two numbers that both add to b. So b is k plus h, right? And c is multiplication and multiply to the c term. So for example, to factor the expression x squared plus 5x plus 6, we need to find two numbers that add to 5 and multiply to 6. Can you find that numbers? So 1 and 4 add to 5, but it doesn't multiply to 6, right? Not 1 and 4. What else? What about 2 and 3? When you add them up, it becomes 5, and when you multiply, it becomes a 6, right? So positive 2 and positive 3 will be the answer. So we're going to rewrite this trinomial using 2 and 3. So what we're going to do is we're going to split this 5x to positive 2x plus 3x. So 2x plus 3x is 5x. So we can just split that. So x squared plus 2x plus 3x plus 6. And what we're going to do is we're going to group those two up and group those two up. Okay? And after that, what we're going to do is use GCF. We're going to factor out GCF. Okay, so I'm just gonna rewrite this a little, put a little gap in between. Okay, x squared plus 2x. So we're going to, what's the GCF here? We're going to factor out x, because GCF of x squared and 2x is x. X squared becomes x. 2x becomes 2, positive 2. Okay? So after factoring, it becomes x plus 2. So what's GCF here? 3, positive 3. And it becomes x plus 2. So we say positive 3, x plus 2. Okay, after that, we have this equation. Do you see any common factor here? Anything is in common? So yes, we see x plus 2, x plus 2. So we can factor x plus 2, right? So x plus 2, factor out x plus 2. Then we have x here, and we have positive 3 here. So let's rewrite it. After rewriting it, we have x plus 2 times, don't forget to put bracket around that, x plus 3. So this is how you factor trinomial using decomposition method. It's called decomposition, right? X plus 2, x plus 3. Let's check. So we're going to check it by expanding it again. Okay? Then x times x becomes x squared. Then x times 3 becomes 3x. 2 times x becomes 2x. And 2 times 3 becomes positive 6. So therefore, it becomes x squared plus 5x plus 6. Okay? Okay, let's move on. If the product is positive, then two integers must be either both positive or both negative. And if the product is negative, then one integer is positive and the other one should be negative. So I'm going to explain this when I solve the next part. Okay? Example 1. So we're going to use decomposition method again to solve this problem, right? So we're going to find the number that add up to 11 and multiply to 24. What number is it? I'm gonna choose, can I choose negative 8 and negative 3? When you multiply it, it becomes positive 24. Or can I choose positive 8 and positive 3? When you multiply, it becomes positive 24. And when you add them up, it becomes positive 11. This one, negative 11. So we are not going to choose this. We're going to choose this one, right? So I said if the product is positive, the product is positive, 24. Right? The product is positive, then the numbers, two integers, must be either positive or negative. Either both positive or both negative. So it should be both positive or both negative. But when you add them up, it should be positive 11. So we're not going to choose this one. Okay, we're going to choose 8 and 3. Again, we're going to use the decomposition method. 11 becomes 8x plus 3. Becomes like this. So x squared plus 8x plus 3x plus 24. So we're going to find the GCF. Find the GCF, which is 3. Bracket. And let's rewrite it. X plus 8 plus 3, x plus 8. After that, again, this is the common factor. So after factoring out x plus 8, x and positive 3 will be here. Then the answer will be x plus 8, x plus 3. That's the answer. Alright, everyone? Okay, let's move on to the next question. We have negative. Then that means one number should be positive, the other one should be negative. So what if I choose negative 4 and positive 3? Then when you multiply them, it becomes negative 12. But when you add them up, what do you get? Negative 1. So this is not the case. Then what about positive 4 and negative 3? Multiply them, it becomes negative 12. Add them up, it becomes positive 1. 1 is hiding here, right? So this is the answer. So we're going to use the decomposition method. 1a, remember 1 is hiding. 1a is 4a plus negative 3a. 4a plus negative 3a, a squared minus 12. Again, everyone, we're going to factor out GCF. Factor out a and factor out negative 3. Then a plus 4, and I have a plus 4. Negative 12 divided by negative 3 is positive 4, right? Okay, let's rewrite it. This is a plus 4, and minus 3, negative 3, a plus 4. Okay, what's in common? a plus 4. If you factor out a plus 4, it becomes a and negative 3. A plus 4, a minus 3. So don't forget to put bracket around it. And this is the factored form. Okay? So this way, in this way, you can factor trinomial to a product of binomials. Alright, let's move on to the next 4 questions. I want you to pause the video and try those 4 questions by yourself. And in this case, you should put everything in descending order. Descending order means highest degree first. The degree of this is 2, and the degree of this is 1, and degree 0. So you put into a highest degree first and lower degree last. Okay, then x squared plus 4x plus 4. So just put it in descending order. Put it in descending order before solving. Same thing for this one. Put it in descending order. Alright, pause the video and solve the problems. Alright, have you tried those 4 questions, everyone? So let's do it together. So we have negative 11, positive 10. So you have to find 2 numbers that add up to negative 11 and multiply to positive 10. So I'm going to choose negative 10 and negative 1. Negative 10 plus negative 1 becomes negative 11. And when you multiply it, it becomes positive 10. So negative 10x, negative 1x. And after that, group those 2 up. Group those 2 up. Okay? So if you group those 2 up, so this time I'm not going to use the letter. So I'm just going to group those 2 up and find GCF. Factor out x. Then that becomes x minus 10. And next, let's group those 2 up. Then negative 1, I'm going to factor out negative 1. And it becomes x. And negative 1, 10 divided by negative 1 is negative 10. Okay? So if this is confusing, just keep using the letter to find the answer. Okay, what's in common? I have the bracket in common. Then I'm going to factor out the bracket. So after factoring out, you can just erase it. Erase it. What's left over? Then x minus 1 is left over. So this is the answer. Okay? Next. Positive 50. Multiply to positive 50 and add up to 27. Then I'm going to choose 25b, positive 25b, positive 2b. When you multiply 25 and 2, it becomes 50. When you add them up, it becomes 27. So it's correct combination. Okay, and we're going to group those 2 up. Then the GCF is B. I'm factoring out B and group those 2 up. The GCF is 2. Factor out 2. And now we have B plus 25 in common. So B plus 25, B plus 2 will be the answer. Okay, let's move on to the next question. So I have x squared plus 4x plus 4. So you have to put it in descending order. And we have to find the numbers, 2 numbers that multiply to 4. What is it? 2 and 2. So we can find it positive 2 and positive 2 or negative 2 and negative 2. But to make 4 positive 4, so positive 2x, positive 2x. And we're going to look at those two first. Then that is x plus 2 plus 2, x plus 2. Okay, after that, this isn't common. X plus 2 and x and 2 isn't common, x plus 2. X plus 2 squared will be the answer. Next, f, we're going to put this in descending order again, like this, and find the number that two numbers multiply to negative 18 and add up to 7. But if you look at this, this is negative 18. So one number should be negative and the other one should be positive. So I'm going to choose positive 9 and negative 2. So when you multiply positive 9 and negative 2, it becomes negative 18. And when you add them up, it becomes positive 7. So this is the right pair of numbers. Okay, so 9m, negative 2m. So you can use the composition method to solve the problems. Group them up. Factor m out and factor 2 out. And after that, m plus 9 in common. Then m plus 9, factor out m plus 9. And the leftover is m minus 2. So this is the answer. Okay. Let's move to G and H. Before we do this, so far we had no 1 as a coefficient for x squared, right? 1 is just a coefficient for x squared. So this one too. Coefficient of x squared is 1. Coefficient of m squared is 1. But if you look at this, the coefficient of x is 4. What do we do? But before we start solving this, I want you to look at this, find if there's any GCF. There's a GCF of 4. So factor it out. And it becomes x squared minus 8x plus 12. So we're going to find two numbers that multiply to positive 12 and add up to negative 8. Okay, it's positive. Two numbers can be both positive or negative. Because this is negative 8, I'm going to choose two negative numbers, negative 6 and negative 2. So when you multiply negative 6 and negative 2, it becomes positive 12. And when you add them up, it becomes negative 8. Okay? Alright, now you group them up. Factor out x. Factor out negative 2. So GCF is x and GCF is negative 2. And we're going to factor out x minus 6. And that will be x minus 6. And the leftover, x minus 2. And we're not done yet because we factored out 4. So we have to combine them. The answer will be 4, x minus 6, x minus 2. Next. This looks very complicated, but I want you to try to find GCF first and solve this by yourself first. What's the GCF here? 3 is a GCF, and all 3 is a factor of this trinomial, and n is also a factor of trinomial. So pause the video and try to solve this question. Alright, so first we're going to factor out 3. It becomes m cubed 7m squared 10m, and then we're going to factor out m. It becomes m squared 7m plus 10. Okay, now you're going to find two numbers that add up to 7 and multiply to 10. That two number will be 2m, 5m, 2 and 5. So let's do this. M squared 2m, you factor m. And 5m plus 10, you factor out 5. Therefore, you can factor out m plus 2. Then what's left over is m plus 5. Okay, therefore we have to include the GCF as well. You have to write it right in front of it. So the answer will be 3m, m plus 2, m plus 5. Okay, so this is the answer. Okay, sometimes an expression will contain a GCF that we can remove before factoring the trinomial. So GCF, as you see, it has a GCF. You have to factor it, and you're going to factor trinomial, and after that you combine them like this. Make sense, everyone? Okay, hopefully you guys understood how to factor trinomial. So this is not an easy chapter, so you have to practice again and again. Okay, so thanks for watching, everyone. I want you to start doing your homework.